Hello. In this session, I'm going to discuss about function composition. Function composition is an operation between two functions f and g in that g acts as an input. In fact, the operation is like fgx, or it can be written as fogx. And the domain of this function is going to be, first of all, x is in gx. So x belongs to domain of g, and we know that gx is basically is an input from f. So gx belongs to domain of f. So the domain of fog can be written as x is in dg, in which gx belongs to domain of f. Now let's take a look at one example. Suppose that fx is equal to x minus 1 and gx is equal to x minus 1 over x plus 1. We want to calculate fog and gof and the domain. First, we need to see the domain and the range of f and g. So the domain of f is equal to r. We know that it covers everything, and also the range of f is the set of real numbers because it covers all the numbers. For the g, we can see that the domain of g is r minus number minus 1, because in the minus 1, gx cannot be defined. So for the fog, the domain of fog, we know that is equal to x from domain of g, in which gx belongs to domain of f. So domain of g is r minus number minus 1, and we know that the domain of f is a real number, so gx, whatever gx may be, the gx is going to be in the domain of f. But for first condition, we know that x is not supposed to be minus 1, so the domain of fog is equal to the set of real number minus 1. There's another way to find the domain of fog. We can calculate the function. So fogx is equal to basically f in, we can substitute the gx with x minus 1 to x plus 1, and we know that f takes the input and subtract number 1. So x minus 1, x plus 1 minus 1, which is equal to x minus 1, x plus 1 minus x plus 1. X and x are going to be cancelled out each other. Minus 1, minus 2, x plus 1. So this is fogx, and we can see that the domain of fog is equal to all the set of real numbers minus number minus 1. So there are two ways. So we can calculate the domain of fog, which both leads to a similar domain. Now let's take a look at GOF or GFX. If we want to follow the definition of the domain, we know that DGOF is equal to x belongs to domain of f, in which fx belongs to domain of g. Domain of f is the set of real numbers, so there is no condition on that. But we know that fx belongs to domain of g. Domain of g is everything, all the numbers, except minus 1. So fx cannot be minus 1, meaning fx cannot be minus 1. So x cannot be minus 1, meaning x cannot be 0. So basically the domain of gfx is going to be all the numbers except 0. Let's calculate and see if this is correct or not. G of x is equal to fx. We know that this is x minus 1. So g takes the input and get the input minus 1 to the top, take the input plus 1 to the bottom. So x minus 1 to the top and x